Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Thursday Night Live. If this is your first time here with us, then my name is Tony with Quik Tech Solutions. Please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're a return viewer or a subscriber, thank you so much for being here and for your continued support of the channel. I think we have a good one for you tonight, folks. I am so thrilled to have Ashlee from Capture the Concept here to talk about her new venture. So that said, if you are looking to grow your online or offline business via social media, or just need some branding or design advice, or just basically some tips on your social media management, then I think we have a treat in store for you. But that said, before I bring Ashlee onto the live stream with us, I just want to go over to the comments and say hello to all of you that are out there joining us tonight. So let's see who is here. We have Tech for Fun is here. Tech for Fun says, hey, Joe, and hey, Tony and Ashlee, excited for the stream, and so are we. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. And he also is congratulating me on the 19,000 subs. I appreciate that. Hey, Mac Telecom Networks is in the house. Cody, thank you for joining. Appreciate that. So we have 6 people here right now. It's 6 likes going on. So hopefully more people will join. I see David Grishko in the chat. Good evening, David. I can't get his message up on the screen just yet. There we go. There's David. Okay, David, there we go. Thank you for joining, David. Hey, Practical IT. Hey, everyone. Jeremy says this is going to be a fun stream. I hope so, Jeremy. And I have to tell you, I watched a couple of your past streams, the recent streams, and boy, you had me laughing there a bit. So I hope this is as fun as a couple of your recent streams, but thank you so much for joining. All right, let's see, who else do we have here? David says, I have 2 straight days of recording, off to prepare. Well, thank you for stopping in, David. I hope you can catch the replay because I think Ashlee's going to have some good stuff for us. We have 10 people here now, so that we're growing, so that's a good thing. All right, well, as of right now, Ashlee, it looks, I know you're hearing me, but you're not on screen. Looks like we are all caught up with the chat, so I am going to bring you on live. I'm going to welcome you, everybody. Help me welcome Ashlee to the stream. Ashlee, welcome.
Hey, Tony.
How are you?
Hi.
I was looking forward to this.
Doing great. Thanks
Oh,
for
you're
having
welcome.
me.
Oh, I see your dad is here in the stream. He just says, hey.
Oh, hi,
Hey,
Dad.
Billy, how are you? David from PE for Doers is here joining us. So this is going to be a fun night, Ash. I hope you have some good stuff, some good information to share with us. And yes, I guess we'll get right into it. So since I know you, we are friends. Sure. So like I know you're a little bit of your history and your background. But I don't know if those of you those of the viewers out there know much about you. So you are going to talk a little bit about your business venture, but tell them a little bit about who you are, how you came up with what is Capture the Concept, how you came up with that idea, and maybe put it in a little context for us and give us a history on how you got to where you are now and where you plan on hopefully taking this.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Thanks, Tony. And thank you for having me on your stream. I am very excited you're here. I guess I'll start with who I am. My name is Ashlee. I am a dog mom. I'm a baker. I'm a wife. And now business owner. I came from the corporate world. I have been in corporate really since high school, actually. So I've been working corporate job, not loving it, and just kind of missing being able to use my creativity on the day-to-day. I'm a very creative person. I like to bake sourdough breads. If you know anything about that process, that's a creative, artistic process. But I'm also really interested in the social media aspect of like my generation and how it really kind of creates a community for all of us. Facebook kind of came out as soon as around high school time for me. So from Facebook then into Instagram, now being part of this YouTube community, knowing you, Tony, and a couple of the other people in the chat. I know you said Jeremy is here, so hey, Jeremy. And I also know TBJ. A lot of you guys know him. So it's cool to see how everything kind of, like, all the social media stuff is making one big community of people. And Tony, you're in North Carolina, I'm in Connecticut, and the fact that we're friends and can hang out and see each other all the time is kind of cool. So yeah, so that's a little bit about me. What were the rest of your questions, Tony?
So the other part was, how did you come up with this idea for the business? How did you come up with the idea, or should I say, how did you come up with the concept? Little play on words.
Aha, funny, Tony.
And then, like, what was the history that led you to this point?
Okay, sure. I think for the past, I'll say 10 years or so, I've really been interested in photography and video creating. I was going through some old footage of when I was a kid, YouTube videos back before YouTube was a thing, and it's just something I've always wanted to be involved in more so. So recently, my husband and I have been building our live streaming business. My husband Joe is super creative too, but he's also on the tech aspect, and Joe and Tony know each other very well. So I've been involved in this world of the tech community and how they are building these channels, and it's just so interesting to me. So that, and then the live streaming that we've been doing, I helped build our social media. I designed our logo and our website. I just really like creating brands. And one thing I wanted to mention was capture the concept is something that I'm diving headfirst into and super passionate about, and it already have some clients that I'm working with, so it's very exciting. But I have always been feeling like an entrepreneur my whole life, really. I tried to have a brownie selling business, and I tried to be a personal shopper before Instacart was even a thing. I didn't do very well with it, but it was a thing. So I've tried to be building businesses since I was a kid, and I think I've finally got a grasp on it. And our live streaming business is doing well. So from that, I learned that there's a lot of people that struggle to make their own content. Their content is kind of low quality, or it's not very exciting. And capture the concept, the thought behind that is we want to be able to help capture who you are and who your company is, and be able to show that to the world, because we strongly believe that you are who sells your company. You are the story behind why your business is even a thing, why what you're selling is a passion of yours. So capture the concept is we want to capture you and show it to the world as a business and as a brand. So that's kind of where we've come from a little bit. Just being able to use my artistic eye, and we're going to talk about that a little bit as to my helping Tony with his thumbnails and things. Some of the YouTubers in this tech community, I've done some of their logos, just putting a different spin on it, that sometimes when you're super not creative, you don't even think about those things, but they really do help you create your brand. So
that is awesome. What a great explanation, Ashlee. Thank you so much for that. And I hope you take this to infinity, because you are definitely super talented, and you have definitely rebranded my channel and my business and a few others that I know of as well. Hopefully you'll talk about a few of those tonight. So I am going to turn things back over to you so you can, I guess, maybe talk about that thumbnail that we have posted behind us, and the thought process that went into that. Sure. And then really wherever you want to go from it, this is your show at this point. So.
Cool. Okay, cool. Thank you, Tony. So let me pull up the thumbnail. You guys should be able to see that. Okay, so this was tonight's thumbnail. And for anyone who doesn't know, thumbnails are super important in the YouTube world. If you are scrolling through your YouTube page, you're seeing pictures of people, you're seeing different graphics, whether it be the item that they're talking about or them out in the world if they're a vlogger, right? So it's all to draw your eye to their video, and unfortunately it's very much about clickbait. You want to be able to really get people to watch your video. You have something important to tell them, you want to share something with them. So I think having a strong thumbnail with bright colors and your face on it is very important. You figure you're the face of your brand. So if you're on there, people are like, oh, it's Tony. I want to watch Tony. And they click on it, and that's how you kind of can keep your brand going. If you think about it, if you see, colors make such a big deal with your brand. And if you are watching a Super Bowl commercial and you see the red, white, and blue circle thing, it's usually going to be Pepsi, right? And we know that just because we know the brand colors and we recognize it. That's what I try to help my clients do, is build their brand, build their presence, so that even when you see a specific color or you hear a specific sound, you're like, I know where that came from. I know who that is, and I follow them. It kind of helps keep people coming back to you. So back to the thumbnail. This thumbnail is a mashup of both me and Tony, obviously. So Tony had his Quik Tech Solutions logo when I first started talking to him about kind of redoing it a little bit. We added the cable swish. We changed up the colors just slightly in the positioning, but we kept Tony's purple, which was important because everybody knows that Tony uses this like deep purple color, and that will help draw people back to his channel. So the other thing we did was we created this background. If you go through Tony's like recent thumbnails and his banner on his page, you'll see that purple kind of keeps showing up. That's important to keep your brand going. So the other half of the thumbnail is me and my colors. I love bright colors, so that's what I incorporated into my logo. And I wanted to make sure that this was like a perfect mashup of both of us to demonstrate both of our brands. So if someone knew my brand and was scrolling through YouTube, they were like, oh, I know those colors. I know that color splash looking thing. And then if they were scrolling through and they know Tony, they would recognize his logo and his coloring too. So that was my thought process. And you also want to have your picture on your thumbnail. I know I mentioned it, but really, even if you don't like your own face, put your face on your thumbnail. I had to fight Tony on that one. He didn't love having his face on there, but it makes such a difference to build your community of people that really resonate with who you are. People come to Tony's channel to watch Tony, right? So it's important to have your face out there. So that's that. Let me see what else I can show you. Tony, did you have any comments on that one?
Just that I was very impressed with what you did with meshing both brands or elements from both brands together to make this thumbnail. When you first sent it to me over the weekend and you said, check it out, what do you think? I was like, oh yeah, it's nice. It's very colorful. It's perfect, But then I didn't really look at it closely until I started, scheduling the stream and doing different things with it. And then I went, oh wow, look at that. She took elements from my brand and elements and made it unified it to meet the need of what what the given need was for tonight. So, and that's part of the creative, your creativeness, which is why you're going to be so successful in this business, because that's a foresight that I could never be able to put together. So that was excellent. So anyway, back to Ashlee.
Cool. No, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's important, it's important to know who you are, who you want to market to, what do they like, right? So Tony, if you were going out with, all kinds of hot pink and flowers, your people would be like, is this a tech channel? Like, what am I looking at? You have to brand appropriately. Were you going to say something, Tony?
Yes,
No?
just that I basically, I'm getting away with the purple. It's not pink, but I do have the purple there. So, but it works well. But anyway, that's it.
Yeah, and any color is fine. I'm working with a client right now who wants his logo to be black and pink, and he's also a tech guy. So any color is fine, and I personally believe pop of color makes it super eye-catching. It's just how you position it, right? So we put your purple on a fiber cable. It's important because that's what you focus on for your channel is tech stuff. So we're not putting flowers in your logo, for instance. But anyways, so one thing to really think about if you are starting a YouTube channel, if you are starting a business, sit down and think, what are my colors? What's the feeling I want my brand to give? And you don't often think of yourself as a brand when you are having a tech channel or you are selling candles, but it all comes together when you're looking at your company as a whole. It's, what do I want my logo printed on? It's what do I want my people to feel when they come to my website? Do I want them to feel calm? Do I want them to feel energized? All of those things are what go into how we design your brand to represent who you are. And that goes back to, again, the storytelling of who your company is run by and why it is what it is. So there's a couple different aspects to marketing your business. You have the branding aspect, but you also have your online presence. And one thing that I really talk about a lot is utilizing social media because it's free. If anyone saw my reel today, it's free. So it's important, we don't have all kinds of money to be investing in our company when we're just starting out. So utilizing the free platforms, whether it be Instagram and you are using hashtags and you're tagging people so they share you and you're growing your community that way, or you're on YouTube and you are putting out content regularly, getting it in front of people, building this story behind who your channel is. There's all different ways to get that community of people to know you, feel like they're close to you, and then want to support your brand. So I go back to the example of the candle maker. There's a lot of candle makers in the world, but if I like you, I'm buying your candle, So that's the difference. So the other thing is you want to be able to utilize the fact that you are a small business, right? At first, everybody's a small business. So there's so many perks to that. There's groups for small businesses. There's networking events for small businesses. So it's important to really embrace that community and let them help you. Personally, I've joined a bunch of groups that are women-owned small businesses because I do own the business, and it's really cool to be able to learn from other people too. It's also important not to be afraid if you do something that somebody else is already doing. Everybody's business is different. Every candle maker's business is different. Everybody who has a tech channel, everybody's different because it's about who you are, and that's what people resonate with. So, I don't know if there's any questions, Tony. I can kind of answer stuff.
So we do have
Go ahead.
One question from David from PE for Doers, and I'm not sure if it's a serious question or if he's just kidding around, but it says, does it have to be my entire face? I guess in reference to when you were talking about putting the image of yourself in the thumbnail. So you might want to address that.
Yeah. Sure. I would say yes, it has to be your whole face, but feel free to make your face the entire thumbnail. For my tech guys in the chat, look at Linus Tech Tips. Well, not today. Obviously, we all know what's going on with that, but his face is huge, like almost the entire thumbnail, because you recognize it. So once people start recognizing you, that's when they're going to want to click on your video. So I would say, yeah, put your whole face on there. All of it.
Cool. We have a $1.99 super chat from Stephanie Collin. So thank you for that, Stephanie. I know.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah. And then we also have, let's see, Jonathan Sidbury. That's Jonathan and Jess. Ashley made my logo and has been helping me brand my and market my new salon. So I don't know if you planned on talking about that
Yeah,
or use it as a segue or what, but
I
there you
do.
go.
Sure. Hi, Jess and Jonathan. Yeah, let me share. This is Studio Tab. This is Jess's logo for her brand new salon that she has. Studio. Sorry, Jess. It's a studio. She cuts hair, but she also wants to embrace the studio feel. Her studio is so cool. It's very trendy, black and white with pops of green and like camel. So when we were trying to figure out her company name, she didn't want to have, Hair by Jess or something. She wanted it to be a little bit more feel more like her. So she really wanted to include her son or her dogs. And what we landed on, Studio Tav, TAV, are the first three letters of her son's name. However, it sounds super trendy too. Like, oh, I'm going to Studio Tav, right? So that's why we kind of incorporated her son in that way so that he'll always be with her at work. And it's kind of a cool little connection that no one would know unless they heard that story. So that was the first part. And then the second part, she really wanted like a clean, simple design. She had some artwork in her studio already that was going to be these flowers that were like really thin line flowers. So to bring a little bit of a feminine touch into it without being like too salon girly, we added the flower kind of like falling off the side just to balance it out and use some cool text. So it's been really cool working with Jess because she hadn't used Instagram at all for her own promotion of herself. And I've kind of been coaching her on how to do this. She's killing it already. She's really embraced like the tagging everybody, tagging her clients. They're sharing it to their friends and family. Then they're going to follow Jess on her social media. She's really diving into reels, which are super important on Instagram. Reels are one of the highest pushed out content on Instagram through the algorithm. So reels are, if you have an Instagram for a business, make reels. And if you don't know how to make them, there's things online. You can use, ideas from other people. My suggestion would be simply just scroll through reels and save some audio that you like, and you'll figure it out. I'm practicing what I preach because I've been so busy helping everybody else. I haven't done my own social. So if you follow me on Instagram at capturetheconcept_CT, I'll be posting some things there soon too. Maybe more than you want to see because I'm ramping it up, but stick with me. I'm also on Facebook and LinkedIn too. So it's really cool to utilize all of these algorithm push outs like the hashtags and what's in your bio to get people to instantly find you when they search. So, if somebody's looking for a content creator in Connecticut, they would find me. If they're looking for small business marketing in Connecticut, they would find me. So it's all about tricking the algorithm. But anyways, working with Jess has been awesome. She's doing great. Go follow Studio Tav. She's so cool. And I just love the feeling of her studio. So that's that.
So Ash, can you mentioned on Instagram reels, and so talk to us older folk here that can basically just get a post out on Instagram. There's reels, there's stories, there's videos, and I look at that as a 61-year-old who is obviously a tech guy, right? But still, some of the modern social media to me is foreign, and I'm sure there are others that I see here in the chat that are of the same age or near the same age as me, or around the same age. Can you differentiate for us the difference between, a reel, a video, a story? Like, I understand the story, but what's the difference between a reel and a video? On Instagram terms.
Right. So reels are posted specifically as a reel, and they're generally in a vertical shape. There's different transitions you can add. You can add text over them, stickers. They're like called badges that you can put on that kind of get people to see your reels, and they're also put to music often. A lot of times when we post a video, it will ask, do you want to turn it into a reel? If for us that create content in a horizontal, like this way frame, we're used to that for YouTube, right? So on Instagram, it has to be vertical because that's the shape of your phone. So you can post a video, but it's not going to be pushed out by the algorithm as much as a reel will, because there's no video tab for people to just continually scroll through, right? You can go to the Reels tab and you could just scroll and scroll forever and consume all the content. So that's the difference. And then there's a post, which is generally a picture, or you could do a series of photos that people could swipe through. They're all useful, but the reels are really what's getting pushed out right now. So that's what I would suggest. And I know, Tony, you and I had kind of talked about how you're okay posting on Facebook, but not really Instagram, which is okay. You don't have to utilize Instagram. You can utilize Facebook as your platform, which is fine too. It depends on where your ideal target people are. Right? So maybe your people aren't on Instagram, maybe they're mostly on Facebook, which is okay. And you can post to, different communities around where you are. I know you have your local business that you're looking to expand and get the word out. So you can try both and see which one sticks. Try a couple things on Instagram. We can make you a reel, Tony. We could do it. And, it's as simple as, ready? It's as simple as setting your phone up, prop it up, turn it on to film you, and go about your day. Do your work that you're doing. Later, you can edit it. You could speed it up. You can crop it. You can chop it up into pieces, put it to a cool, trendy song, and then you have a reel. So you don't have to always go out of your way to create all kinds of crazy content. For instance, Jess the other day was walking into her studio for the first day and just kind of filmed herself like turning on her music and putting her coffee down. And that whole experience lets you feel like you were hanging out with her through a reel. So they're not as scary as you think they are. You can produce them, which is fine too. And that's kind of part of what I talk about with my clients is creating a content calendar so that you're not overwhelmed with what do I make and what do I do? We plan that out. It's ready to go. But if you are stuck, just prop your phone up. Go about your day and then put some funny words over it and it'll go viral and you'll be fine.
Well, thank you for that. Great explanation. I actually posted a story today, first time in my life on Facebook. So,
Oh yeah,
baby steps.
Stories are kind of like shared. Yeah, stories are shared things. They go away within 24 hours. So I always suggest if you're gonna, if you want to just like get a quick word out and you don't care about it sticking around, put it in a story. But if you want it to stay on your page forever, post it and then share it to your stories.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to before we move on, I'm going to pull up a few more comments so that we kind of keep the comments with where the conversation is. So David is asking, Ashlee, do you assist with channel titles or notes under the video? So I guess you could talk about more of the services too, from a service standpoint that you offer with Capture the Concept as well, in addition to the social media, building the business thing. And then, I mean, actually, go ahead and before I just go through the chat, if you want to address that, go ahead. The question from David about
that's something. David, I can help with that, and I would more so coach you on to how to come up with that on your own and the ways to kind of take what you're talking about in your video or whatever it is you're posting, and I could teach you how to format it in a way that it's going to get pulled by the algorithm, it's going to get pushed out, and it's going to be searchable, but also still get your point across too. So there is a little bit of like exciting news, keep reading, and then people are like, oh, I want to know what's happening, and they keep reading. If you were to just start like, putting a paragraph of text into your caption, they're going to be like, I got too much. But if you throw some emojis in there, break it up a little bit, it's easier to consume. The problem with today's day and age is we want content fast. So you have to really speak quickly in your reels, put like specific words in your captions. So with Capture the Concept, I do offer a free 30-minute like just chat with anybody just to get to know you and your business and kind of let you know how I operate, what I think could happen. So generally I'll schedule a 30-minute with you, we'll chat, and then I'll take all of my information that I get and I will go kind of do like a deep dive on all of your social platforms and your website, and I'll come back to you with here's what I think you need and here's how I can help. Whether it be social media management, I can do your social media for you. You know, our company can handle doing your posts and scheduling out the content. Or maybe you need a rebrand, you need new graphics, new colors, something that makes it feel more like you. We do that too. Also, I like to do training, so I will teach you and give you the tools and kind of like checklists and things on how to really transform yourself into doing social media the effective way. There's a ton of ways to do social media and to utilize it, but we try to kind of get it into a way that's comfortable and not so scary. So I can help with that too through training. There are a lot of companies that are like, well, I don't want to hire somebody to do my marketing until the end of time, you know, do my social media management until the end of time. So I can train someone specifically on their team to do what I would do. And then they can always come back to me with questions and that kind of stuff too. So there's that. We also do content creation. So we do videography and photography to capture events. We're not going to do a motion picture or anything, but we can help you create content that will get your item that you're selling, your service that you're selling out there to the world in a like trendy way, whether it be, you know, through a reel or through a YouTube video or a like, I hate to say commercial because we don't do like, you know, the fancy commercials, but something that will show you in your realm, like at your office, at your workshop, whatever it is. So those are different options. I should actually share my screen because this is my website, and all of our different options are on here. We do video editing, you know, brand design, social media, all the stuff that I already talked about, headshots. So if you had any interest in any of these things, or even just wanted to ask a couple questions, like I'm so okay just chatting about it, reach out to me. Like, even if you're like, can you just take a look at this and let me know? I'm happy to do that. So it's Capture the, you know, this is our homepage. So, and we also have a contact us form. So if you reach out, contact us, I will get back to you right away. And then, you know, we can start the conversation and see where I think I can help. And then it's up to you if you want to go through it with it or not.
That's so cool. While you were showing that, I popped up the address on the screen for your website.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Awesome. So there is a question here. I just need to go back and find it. Here it is. From Learn Blue Iris, he asks, how do you think AI, and for those of you who don't know, AI is artificial intelligence, will change social media?
I think that here's the thing with AI, right? So it's reading everything and it's seeing everything that's going on with all of your posts. So it can get a little scary, AI. It knows where you are, where you're posting from, what you're showing. So the thing is, it could take over in a sense of like, there's this thing that can like write your captions for you. I think it's, what's it called, Tony?
Chat.openai.com. Yeah, Chat GPT.
Yeah, Chat GPT. So it literally writes captions for you, or blog posts or any of that. So you can almost use it as a tool to be able to get some content out there. But it can help. I think it could be like helpful and not at the same time. So you have to be careful. I don't know. AI kind of freaks me out a little bit, but I think it could be useful when done correctly.
And I'll add to that, I've actually used that for creating YouTube titles and YouTube video descriptions. It does a far better job than I can, but you do have to tweak it. It gives you the framework, but then you have to tweak it and pretty much make it your own. So we have a question from Colleen, and Colleen asks, if you have a lot of video ideas, is it better to post one per day or post multiple on the same day? I love your ideas and your work.
Thank you, Colleen. Hello, that's my friend Colleen. But I do want to say she has a very good point. The best way to do it is write all of your ideas down. Write them all down and then put them into a calendar. So what I talk about when I talk with my clients, I'll kind of give you the tip. Write all your ideas down first. Then you're going to put them into a calendar. But you're going to put them into a calendar in two different ways. One is going to be like, on this day, this week, I'm recording or creating all of this content. We like to call them creative days. And then the other piece of it is, when am I pushing out the content? I would suggest doing one post a day for the most part. You can do different shares of people to kind of keep your story going, but a post on your grid, like on your page, do one a day. So just plan out when you want them to be. One example, today is National Puppy Day, right? So if I had planned content that included my dog, I would pick that to put out today because I could use the hashtag. The hashtag will trend, and then maybe I'll get more people to my page. So one a day. You can do two, but save your content.
Cool. So did you have other stuff that you wanted to share, talk, or just you want to go through some more of the comments?
I mean, you can go through more of the comments. I could talk all night, Tony, so it's up to you if you want to go through the comments.
The fact that on your website you have a page specific for creators, aside from all the other services, and then there's a piece where you do portrait packages, things like that. It might be a good idea to kind of give them an overview of everything that I know you talk some, but maybe even bring the site up on the page and show them all the different things that you do, or that you offer, I should say.
Yeah. Sure, thanks. Yeah, so we kind of came up with this whole creators package in keeping in mind that, like, okay, if you have a YouTube channel, you're not making a ton of money off at the beginning, right? So I don't want to, say, sorry, can't afford me. Like, that's not what we're here for. I want to be able to help you. I want to help you create your brand that you love. I'm actually working with someone right now, and we've done many edits of his logo, and he's like, I just don't feel it, but I don't know what I want to feel. So we're just trying different things, and we'll get it eventually, and that's something that I dedicate to. So for one price, I promise you will love your logo at the end of the process. So for instance, one thing that we can do for you is our YouTube brand package. So with this, you get the call that I talked to you about, the 30 minutes. You also get the logo with 2 revisions if needed. I say that, but I'm going to make sure you love your logo. Don't worry. And then you get a banner and a profile picture. So you will have your logo, but you may want it a little different for your actual picture that goes on your channel. So you'll get that, and you'll also get a watermark too. So that will be part of your every video that you put out. You could put the little watermark in the corner so that as people are watching, they remember that it's you. With that, I do deliver you all of the fonts that we use for your art and your colors. And you'll get a JPEG and a PNG. If you don't know, PNG is a transparent background, so you can put it on top of anything or use it for apparel. If you wanted to get a shirt made with your logo on it, you get all of that delivered to you with that package. So the other thing that we talked about earlier, but something that I do offer is thumbnail art. So a lot of people either don't have the time to make their thumbnails, they're too busy cranking out videos for YouTube, or they just simply don't know what to do or want advice on it. And I am happy to help in that regard also. Etsy is another one that has a look and feel to it. If you go to someone's Etsy shop, it's kind of very similar to YouTube. For searching, this is what I kind of talked about. I put a specific section for Etsy people in case someone searches like Etsy shop rebrand, my website will pop up. But Etsy and YouTube are very similar. You'll need a banner, you'll need a logo, a profile picture, that kind of stuff. So you'll get those too. And then general graphics. A lot of graphics that people come to me and say, I need something that will demonstrate my, workbook that I'm going to be putting on my website. Can you make it look something that matches my brand? That's something that I can do kind of a la carte based on what you need. And we can talk about, how to go about that as they come up. I know some people need like the channel badges and stuff. There's little icons that you can like make your own emoji kind of things and stuff if you're a channel member, something like that. So that's stuff that I can help create also. And I have down at the bottom of my website, you may recognize a couple of these. These are some of the YouTubers that I have worked with. This also links directly to their channel. So TVJ's was really fun. He works, he's like a broadcast engineer. So it was cool to kind of retro his logo a little bit, but still use the colors, the RGB colors. So there's that. And then Jeremy, I think you're in the chat there. Jeremy's logo is literally one of my favorites of all time. If you've watched Jeremy's stream, you understand it. I was just playing around one day and we sent it over to Jeremy and he was like, that's perfect. So, that's another logo that we've done. So, yeah, and then the other thing that Tony had mentioned we do headshots. We have a local studio that we can do like business headshots. A lot of times they're not, very cheap, or you have to have a whole photo shoot done. If you simply need one, maybe for your LinkedIn or to, send to your new job or something. We have specific days of the month that we do headshot like workshops, and then you can just pay. It's $50. You get your headshot delivered to you. So anyways, that's another thing. If you're local, we offer, and then there's more about me on here. We do have a blog too that kind of gives some tips and tricks when it comes to small business marketing. Our real niche, for instance, is we say, tell your story. That's the main part of our business. We want to tell who you are. So that's one of our biggest goals and what we'll kind of get out of you as we're doing our work together. So.
Very cool.
That's all I got.
We have a $10 super chat from Learn Blue Iris, and he says, finally a pretty female on the channel. Yes, probably the first female on the channel as well. Yes.
Thank you.
So Colleen, as I was going through them earlier, Colleen said, thank you for the input. Great input. I'm just trying to find that response. But just so you know that she did say thank you. Let's see.
You're welcome.
David also says thank you for the input as well. Jeremy is saying now that there's AI out there that will also generate artwork. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, we've actually seen that. Actually, Joe and I were playing with that one night, and it is absolutely insane. Here we go. Here's the message from Colleen. Great feedback. Thank you, and love your dog. Yes, Brindley is awesome. So.
Yes, Brindley. Oh, Tony, we want to have some wine? Brindley is on my wine glass here. Isn't she cute? Tony sent this to me.
That's awesome. She's a sweetie. Mm-hmm.
She's a good girl. She's upstairs.
You mentioned when you were showing some of the people that you did YouTube stuff for, you put out a post today that was fantastic, and it was so apropos for what you do, and it was regarding Jeremy's channel. It was I don't know if you put it on Instagram or you put it on Facebook, but it was his design, and you said, what did you say? Something to the effect of every design or every logo really reflect. I don't want to paraphrase. Go ahead.
Yes. I don't remember what I said, but I'll look it up. Yeah, so what I was getting at with that post is every design needs to feel like who you are, right? So, when we were creating Jeremy's logo, he wears glasses. Jeremy's bald guy, right? So when you see his logo, you're like, that's Jeremy. And it was such a cool way to represent him as a person. What did I say? Defining your brand means being recognized at a glance. So that's exactly what this shows, is when you see that, you're like, that looks familiar to me. Oh yeah, it's Jeremy's channel. And what's cool about his logo is we took just the head with the glasses, and that's his watermark. So you can kind of repurpose your brand a little bit and use it in different ways to keep your look going across all different platforms or whatever you're working on. So Jeremy, we got to get that on a shirt. That would look really cool. Just the glasses.
Cool. So we are all caught up in the chat as of right now. Folks, if you have any comments or questions for Ashlee, please go ahead and put them in the chat. She will do her best to answer them. Here we go. Here's something.
I have one more thing to talk about if you want, Tony.
That's perfect. Yeah. And then I see some more comments coming in. So let's switch back over to you, and then we'll go back to the comments, and then we'll see where we're at that point. Cool.
Sure. Yeah, I just want to kind of circle back on the community of social media. So if you think about that, you have a new brand or a new business, and you say you're a person that's walking into a party, right? You're walking into a party, you're by yourself, and you're like, oh God, who am I going to talk to? 9 out of 10 times you're going to leave with like 5 new friends, right? It's just natural that you go in, you talk to people, they get to know who you are, and they're like, I like this person, let's be friends. Social media can be the same way for you. So it's all about finding your community and building those supporters that want to share your content. They want to talk up your business. That's what I try to help everybody kind of establish is, do the research. Scroll through the people that you often, refer to for their content, or their content that you're like, I really like how they do that. You don't have to copy it, but you can use that as inspiration on how you can tweak it to fit your brand and your personality. So think of social media as like all your BFFs out there that don't even know they're your BFF yet. They're coming.
Cool. How about hashtags, Ashlee? Let's talk about hashtags. What's the best advice on utilizing hashtags? And are hashtags the same across the different social media platforms?
Yeah. So hashtags are used everywhere. Personally, I think they're used the most on Instagram, because a lot of times you follow a hashtag if you're interested in whatever it is, like white dogs. That's hashtag white dog, and you want to see all the white dogs. So you can very easily come up with your hashtags. All you have to do is take your phrase or your words or whatever and smush them together. So if you're posting, and we'll use the dog for instance, if you're posting about your dog and it's National Dog Day and your dog is white and it's a Jack Russell, think of the things that people are already invested in. Like we're team Jack Russell over here because our dog is Jack Russell. So I'm always looking for different Jacks on social media. Instagram, for instance, I follow Jack Russell Terrier, hashtag Jack Russell Terrier, and I get to see them all. So those are the things that you want to utilize, right? So say you're posting about your greenhouse and your gardening like business, right? You have a garden center. Maybe you use hashtag like new seeds or 2023 growth or something. Play on words is really good for hashtags. They could be kind of tricky, but if you just think for a second, like, what am I actually posting? You can come up with some clever ones. And the other thing is on Instagram, when you're typing in a hashtag, it'll tell you like 3.5 million people follow this or less than 100 people follow this. Sometimes it's as simple as dropping an S off the end or adding an S on, and you're like, oh, all of these people actually use this hashtag or spelled this way. So you can utilize it in that sense. But hashtags are great. Keep using them. Put them into your captions, and then they kind of like flow a little bit while still getting people to come to your post.
You know, it's interesting, the last point that you made about, you know, experimenting with the hashtags and seeing which ones will work better. For example, I use a lot of times hashtag fast Wi-Fi on a lot of my Instagram posts. And my daughter just pointed this out to me yesterday, actually, when I went to Studio Tab for a haircut. She was like, I was asking her a little bit about the whole hashtag thing, and she's like, well, you know, you really have to be like, check out which ones will work best for you. So she said, like, for example, you always do the hashtag fast Wi-Fi. How many people are following that, you know? And then we just did hashtag Wi-Fi, and it was like, oh, wow, there's like 1 million more subscribers using hashtag Wi-Fi than there are hashtag fast Wi-Fi. So it's like, so it's those kinds of things that you have to, I guess, it's not just about putting a hashtag before a group of word or phrase. It's figuring out, like you said, which ones are going to work best for you. So I guess it takes a little trial and error and a little time to figure that out. So.
Yeah. And think of some before you post, right? Part of your content planning is creating your hashtags that you often utilize, the ones that speak to your business. For instance, mine is small business marketing. I put that in every post because that's what I do, right? So you can go down that hashtag rabbit hole, like type it in, follow it, and see if those posts really mean something to you. And yeah, I think it definitely makes sense to do your research and see also look at your analytics, see how it's working for you. You know, if that post got nothing, and then your other post where you just only did the Wi-Fi one got a ton of views or clicks or whatever, then you kind of know. So, and I also think that I like to put hashtags in my captions, like in my descriptions of my post, and then I put a chunk of them at the bottom, because even if no one wants to scroll through and read all the hashtags, they're still pulling people for me. So I dump them at the bottom, and that'll still get my post out there.
Cool. Good advice. Thank you, Ashlee. So David says,
sure.
What quadrant of Connecticut are you in? I'm on Long Island and spend a lot of time in Westchester.
Okay. Yeah. So we're in the Hartford area. But I kind of, I do anything throughout Connecticut or even the surrounding. But what's good about social is you're generally virtual, which is kind of nice. I can pretty much help anybody anywhere, unless you need on location, like content creation. But we do have a studio in the Hartford area, more specifically in Farmington. That's where our studio is. So, we have different options, but we are kind of in the middle. So we can get anywhere. If you need us, we'll get to you.
Learn Blue Iris says, remember, we need shirts for fluffies like me and me. And then Jeremy says, funny you should mention shirts, Ashlee. I have actually been thinking about that lately. So there you go.
Yeah. Let's talk, Jeremy. Let's do a cool design with your logo.
DJ Ware is in the house. DJ, thank you for watching. Make sure you go back and rewatch the stream from the beginning on the replay, because Ashlee has been giving some excellent tips for not only building a business on social media, but for helping to just employ different strategies for improving the YouTube channel, business, whatever, any pretty much social media platform. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. Let's see. Bob Carpenter says to Jeremy, sign me up for a 3X fluffy shirt. I love it. And your dad is asking, how do I smash the like button? So there you go. I'll let you take that one, Ash.
So there's a little thumbs up down there, Dad. Just click on that. You have to close your chat. If you're on your phone, close your chat, hit that like button. Everybody hit the like button and then come back.
So Joe says, that's why your hair looks
funny.
good, Tony. You went to Studio Tav. Absolutely. The best hairdresser in the Wilmington, Leland area, for sure. I'm not too biased, right? So.
Oh, yeah.
And TVJ says, don't forget shirts for tall people. And he also says he would buy shirts from fellow creators as well. Well, thank you, TVJ. I assume that all the creators out here appreciate that comment. Okay, so let me switch back to the rundown real quick and just see where we're at. Okay, is there anything else, Ash, that you want to offer, say, at this point in time?
Well, I had two thoughts. Like I said, Tony, I could talk forever, so just keep prompting me. But one thing was I came from the promotional products industry prior to my past corporate job. If you didn't know, you did because it's on the thumbnail, but my name is spelled with 2 E's. So all growing up, I never got to go to the grocery store, and find like the pencil section that has your name on it or whatever. And I also never got to get like the keychains or the license plates. So as I was growing up, I always liked to create my own things. My mom always ordered custom everything with my name on it. So when we talk about swag apparel with your logos on it, I love that stuff. If you ever need help with designs, I'm actually working on some capture the concept stuff for me to wear. And one of my favorite designs is I have the capture the concept logo on the left chest, actually, of a black sweatshirt. And then I have tell your story really big down the arm. I'm big into like an arm thing or a website or like big on the back. So lots of fun stuff you can do with swag. Like, I love that. So if you need any help, reach out. The other thing I wanted to comment on was the different social media platforms. When you're establishing your business on a platform, just think about what it is you're going to be posting. For instance, Instagram is kind of like a trendy spot. Facebook is very like family friend community type. And then there's LinkedIn, which is very corporate. So for instance, I plan to do different content generally on all three of them because the consumption of the content is different. On LinkedIn, I could be giving tips and tricks in a different way that are less trendy, more graphics that people could save and use for later. So just kind of keep those things in mind too when picking your ideal platform. They don't have to be the same across all of them. So that's that.
I think David was mentioning earlier.
Any other chats?
Yeah, we'll go to chat for a minute. I think David was mentioned earlier that he uses LinkedIn quite a bit. Let me just see if I can find his chat. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Yeah, here.
Yeah, LinkedIn is cool.
He says he was telling Joe, I built up a large number of connections on LinkedIn, initially business, of course, but I pulled some of those as YouTube subscribers as well. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the community that you've created. They connected with you in person or through your business or your job, and now they're like, oh, I'll support you on your YouTube channel. I'll hit subscribe, no problem. Also, if you're not subscribed to Tony, subscribe to Tony.
Yeah, I mean, and Bob Carpenter, you're in the chat. If you're still here, feel free to drop links to the creators that are here. TVJ is here, Jeremy's here, Learn Blue Iris is here, PE for Doers is here. So, feel free. We like to support the community and help everybody grow at the same time. So, let's see. And David says, my wife just uses a buzzer on my head most of the time. I love it. So, awesome. All right. So I think we're caught up. with the chat, and Bob is putting all the creator links in the chat. So thank you so much, Bob, for that. Let's see what else we got going on in the chat.
Yep.
So
yeah, go subscribe to everybody. I'm going to be posting some things here and there on my channel
Tech
too.
for Fun asks, I'm not going to post this one up on the screen at the moment, but Tech for Fun asks, do you have to have a lot of gear to make good content online?
No, you do not. You can a lot of times just use your phone. If you want to have super professional, videos that are cut together and super clean, you can. Cool. But yeah, you don't need to have a lot of gear at all.
And we're back. Hey, we hit the JAU approved unit. What do you think of these shirts? Go ahead, show yours off, Ash. There you go.
I got a shirt too. Tony had mentioned this thing of a JAU, so I decided we needed to have shirts about it.
It's so funny because earlier in the stream, we were having a couple of little blips with the SRT feed. So I was going back and forth with Joe a little bit. And during that little chat, he says, oh, and by the way, he said, do you know you have a little timer up, a little counter up in the left-hand corner? I was like, yeah, Joe, I'm fully aware. I got this. So anyway, so yes, that was a J.
Do you want to explain that to anybody who doesn't know?
So that was a JAU counter. It was just counting up for the hour, and I did not include the pre-roll, which was only about 2.5 minutes, because with everything else I had to remember, I did forget to, I hit record, so we're recording the stream on the ATEM, but I forgot to go live on YouTube, so the pre-roll was running for a while. So we only got about 2.5 minutes of the pre-roll, but I did not include the pre-roll in the 60 minutes to get to the JAU. So the JAU, for those of you who do not know, is a Joe approved unit. So to be more specific, Joe requires you, if he is in your live stream as a viewer, that you have to stream content for at least 1 hour to earn a JAU unit. Now, if you go 2 hours, you'll get 2 JAU units, etc. But, we did make the hour mark tonight, so we had this all ready to go. And just for a little fun, for those of you who do know about the JAU. So, Ashley, talking about t-shirts, you might have a little merch idea going on right here. I think these will go over fairly well. Mm-hmm. So
let me know if you want a JAU shirt. I don't even think Joe knew about his JAU shirts until right now.
No, I don't think Joe knew about this, because you snuck this into my suitcase when I was up there last week, so that's awesome. So anyway.
Yeah, totally. And thank you for everybody who gets their JAUs for entertaining him.
100%. Let me go back. Let me bring some of the comments back up on the screen now. I'm sure there's a couple in there. This is awesome. I waited all night. I mean, the stream was good, the content was good, but I waited all night for that moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see it back on the stream.
All right, so where are we here? All right, so let me just pop up all the creator links who are here with us, courtesy of Bob. So we have DJ Ware. Check out DJ Ware's channel. Excellent channel on Linux and all stuff. Goes super deep. Another great Linux channel, Jeremy Like. Check out Jeremy. TVJ. TVJ's into television broadcasting and engineering. Another great channel. Learn Blue Iris as well if you are interested in learning all about surveillance and Blue Iris, the Blue Iris software and code project AI. Make sure you go subscribe to the Learn Blue Iris channel. Let's see what else we got here. Joe, there's Joe's comment. Ha 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 ha. He must have went hysterical. I wish I was there to hear it. Jeremy says, not everybody can have great hair like you. Well, I don't know. That's, I guess I'm fortunate, Jeremy. What can I say? Bob Carpenter's laughing. There you go. Jeremy's, this is awesome. This is, yeah, this is so cool. LMFAO from Jeremy. Oh my God, I've created a monster, Bob says. Yeah, Bob, you have pretty much. We have some other units that we've been talking about today in our video guys group chat. So you never know, something else may hit the scene too in the future. Learn Blue Iris says, I knew nothing about this, and no, he did not. This was just between Ashlee and myself. So, in fact, I do have to tell this story now that Joe said he knew nothing about this. Joe, we planned this long before. There was a couple of streams ago. It wasn't a stream you did, but we were in a stream. I forget whose it was, whether it was TVJ's or Jeremy's, somebody's. And of course, the JAU kept coming up, and all of a sudden, you showed up with the photoshopped JAU shirt, and then the website that you created through that stream. And I was so pissed at the moment because, like, Ashlee had just discussed a few days prior to that of doing this reveal tonight. And like, God damn, I can't believe he did that, blah, 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 blah. But it's all in good fun. So anyway, so funny. What does this say? Yep, here's the website if you want to go check out the joeapprovedunit.com website to learn the more detail and criteria about what it takes to earn a JAU. There you go. David says, do you start deducting past the 2 hours? I have trouble shutting up sometimes. Oh, that's up to Joe. Bob and Joe really. So they pretty much, I think, came up with the criteria collaboratively. So Joe says, I was just going to ask how Tony got his shirt. Alonzo Smith, congrats on the collaboration. Welcome, Alonzo. Thank you for joining. I'm not sure when you got here, but appreciate you being here. There's PE for Doers. Thank you, Bob, for posting David's website. David does some really good PC rip downs and builds, and today he did something on a all-in-one combo solder, multimeter, and hot air gun dryer all-in-one unit. Pretty cool. Let's see. Anyway. And Joe says, ha, 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 sorry. Well, you didn't know because we kept it a secret from you. So anyway. So there we go. So I think we made a successful stream. We still have 18 people here. We got 16 likes. Let's see. All caught up on the comments. So what I'm going to say to you guys is, go out if you're thinking about. Now I guess I'm going to gear this towards the creators that are here. If you're like me and you have no artistic ability whatsoever, and you are looking to improve your channel banner, your overall brand, your logo, your thumbnails, whatever, reach out to this young lady. She is wonderful. She will come up with something very creative that when she presents it to you after interviewing you on what you get some insight to learn more about you, she's going to present you with something and you are going to just go, wow, like I never in my wildest dreams. So I guarantee you that. So reach out, go to capturetheconcept.com.
Thank you.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Ashlee, any closing thoughts or words you'd like to share before we take it off?
No, yeah, like Tony said, even if you just have some questions on how something should look, or send it to me through social and I'm happy to review it. If you want me to look at your social, follow me and send me a message. I'm happy to kind of scroll through and be like, I have some ideas, let's talk, or you're killing it and you don't need me. So we'll definitely get you on the right track. But Tony, thank you so much for having me on. This was so fun. I'm glad we got to show our shirts off and chat for a while. And thanks everybody for joining. I know some people followed me here, so
Yeah.
thank you. Make sure you subscribe to Tony and all the other creators in the
Super
chat.
having you on tonight. Thank you for a plethora of wonderful information. I know I learned a lot about social media, being the generation that I'm from. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all your knowledge. I appreciate everything that you shared tonight for the people out there. And I would love to have you on 6 months, a year down the road to do a follow-up to see where Capture the Concept is at that point in time, which in my mind, with no doubt will be 100% successful. So
Thank you. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Let's do it.
On that note, I'm going to say thank you all out in the YouTube world for being here and joining us tonight. Thank you again, Ashlee. And as I say to end every video, we'll see you all next time.